Welcome, everyone. Today, we are diving deep and cracking the code on one of Europe's most influential and, let's be honest, kind of notorious languages, German. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to really level up your skills, we're going to map out the entire journey for you, from start to finish.
So, right off the bat, a little word of warning. This is what we call a false friend. If you ask for a pickle in German using what seems like the right word, you might get some very strange looks because you've just asked for a pimple. And you know what? It's these little quirks that make learning German a truly unforgettable adventure.
I know, it's so easy to look at German grammar and just see this impossible, confusing labyrinth. But let's try to reframe that. Instead of a labyrinth, think of it as a really cool puzzle. And with the right map, which we're going to give you today, solving it isn't just possible, it's actually incredibly rewarding.
Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of how to do this, let's talk about the why. What's the big prize waiting for you at the end of this journey? Because trust me, understanding your motivation is the fuel that's going to keep you going when the grammar gets tough.
Let's start with a pretty powerful motivator, money. The data is super clear on this. For immigrants working in Germany, getting your German skills up to an advanced C1 level can boost your salary by an average of 21% compared to someone at an intermediate B1 level. That is a huge, tangible return on the time you invest in learning.
But it's really not just about your paycheck. Speaking German at a high level is like having a key that unlocks some seriously amazing doors. We're talking access to Germany's world-class and often totally tuition-free university system. Plus, research shows it literally boosts your brain power, improving memory and other cognitive functions. And maybe the most important reward of all, it allows for deeper connections and a real sense of belonging.
All right, so now that we know why we're going, let's pull out the map. The journey to fluency isn't just wandering around hoping for the best. It's a structured path with really clear milestones along the way.
And this map has an official name. It's called the CEFR. That stands for the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Basically, it's a standardized system used all across Europe to measure how well you speak a language. It takes this huge, scary goal of fluency and breaks it down into small, manageable steps. This is our official guide.
And here's what that path looks like. It's broken down into 6 main stages. You kick things off at A1, mastering the absolute basics. From there, you just keep climbing, building up your confidence and skills through B1, B2, all the way to C2, which is pretty much near native mastery. Every single one of these steps is a real achievement you can celebrate.
So, the big question, how long does it take? Well, here's a realistic breakdown. To get from absolute zero to a basic A1 level, you're looking at about 170 hours of study. Then, to make that jump to a solid B1 intermediate level, plan for another 360 hours. And to make the final leap to an advanced C1 level? Yep, another 360 hours. Look, it's not a race, it's all about putting in consistent effort.
Okay, let's put on our explorer hats and head right into the heart of the labyrinth, German grammar. This is where the language gets its famous reputation. But honestly, these quirks are what make it so unique and, dare I say it, fun.
So we already saw the whole pickle versus pimple thing. Well, here's an even more dramatic one. The German word Gift means poison. Yeah. So if a German speaker ever offers you a gift, you might want to think twice before accepting. These false friends are absolutely everywhere, and they definitely keep you on your toes.
Ah, yes. Der, die, and das, the famous 3 genders. They are the bane of pretty much every German learner's existence, and this quote from a learner on Reddit just perfectly captures that initial struggle. When you have no idea if it's einen, eine, or ein Apfel, you know what? Just ordering 2 of them seems like a perfectly logical solution.
You know, in English, we're kind of spoiled. We usually just add an S to the end of a word and boom, it's plural. German is a bit more creative. To make a word plural, you might change the ending, but you also very often change a vowel sound right in the middle of the word using an umlaut, those 2 little dots. It's like a 2-part puzzle you have to solve every time.
And then there are the numbers. For any number over 20, you have to do a little bit of mental gymnastics. While in English we say 45, German flips it around and says 5 and 40. 45. It definitely takes some getting used to, but believe it or not, once it finally clicks, it's actually very systematic.
Okay, we've seen the tricky parts, we've mapped out the challenges, but you know what? Every good explorer has a toolkit. So now we're going to equip you with some proven strategies and hacks to navigate this German labyrinth way more effectively.
So, to conquer those 3 genders, here are some fantastic tips from learners who have been there. Try color coding your notes. Blue for masculine, red for feminine, green for neuter. This is crucial. Never just learn the word Tisch. Always learn der Tisch, the table. And start looking for patterns. Certain word endings, like ung, almost always mean the noun is feminine.
Right, so let's officially add that tool we just mentioned to our toolkit, the umlaut. It's those two little dots you see over an A, O, or U. And they are not just for decoration. They totally change the sound of the vowel. Mastering them, like how apple becomes Äpfel, is a major key to cracking the code of German plurals.
You know, one of the best hacks in your toolkit isn't a grammar rule at all. It's immersion. Seriously, just put on a German movie or a TV series. Even if you don't understand every single word, your brain starts soaking up the rhythm, the flow, the natural context. You start to learn how people really use the language, which is something a textbook just can't teach you.
And finally, after all that hard work navigating the grammar and building your vocabulary, it is time to claim your prize. And that means getting an official certificate that proves your skills to employers, universities, and the world.
So, which exam is the right one for you? Well, it really just depends on your goal. The Goethe-Zertifikat is kind of the gold standard for global recognition. Telc is super practical, focusing on the language you need for work and daily life in Germany. And TestDaF, that is the specialized key you need to unlock the door to a German university. And here's the bottom line. An official certificate does so much more than just say, I can speak German. It transforms that skill from just a claim you make on your resume into a quantifiable, internationally recognized asset. It's the official proof that opens doors.
So, there you have it. We've laid out the map, we've shown you the destinations, and we've given you the tools for the adventure. The German language isn't some unbreakable code, it's a journey with a clear path. The only question left is, where will you go first? Thanks so much for joining me.